Inside City Hall, our city's struggling public housing authority is banking on a federal program to save 1/3 of its housing stock. But that program requires private management of developments, and that in turn has sparked fear among some residents who are maybe worried that there will be full privatization. So NYCHA tried to convince residents otherwise by putting them on a bus and heading out to the beach. Our Courtney Gross went along for the ride, and she's here to tell us all about it. Good evening, Courtney.
Good evening, Earl. So this trip didn't necessarily include or really need any beach towels per se, but NYCHA was showing residents one development they have already converted to this program. Instead of NYCHA signs there now, there's a new logo, fresh landscaping, and even sprinklers. You could call it a field trip. Public housing residents from developments across the city boarded a bus to go to the farthest reaches of the 5 boroughs.
Me personally, I'm very excited.
Waikiki did not want to give us her last name, but she has lived in Fulton houses in Chelsea for 15 years.
I've been very interested since they started talking about converting into, let's say, either RAD or doing affordable housing.
RAD being the issue here. It's a program NYCHA will use to infuse new money into deteriorating developments. 1/3 of its property will get turned over to the program, leasing buildings to private nonprofit developers who promise to fix and renovate them.
No revolution!
It's controversial to say the least. On Thursday, residents at developments slated for conversion had a chance to see what one development in the program is really like. They headed east.
I almost didn't come today because I felt like it was a waste of time.
Melanie Ocello is among the skeptics. She's lived at this NYCHA building in Kips Bay for 10 years. In June, the city announced it would soon be managed by a private developer.
Where are the residents going to be when these rehabs take place? We have handicapped, we have people with asthma. NYCHA's never looked out for us before with lead and asbestos, and sometimes I still wake up and there's no hot water.
An hour or so later, these residents end up in the Rockaways.
We're going to break up into different groups, but we're going to show you some of the new amenities that were installed here. There's a dog park, new playground.
It's a NYCHA development now managed by a private nonprofit. It's called Ocean Bay. It's the shining example for NYCHA of its new policy, one that brings fear of privatization from skeptical residents. But this one comes with a garden, basketball courts, renovated lobbies.
Because we definitely need new doors.
And then there's the apartments. They were all renovated. The kitchen, the bathroom.
They want to know if the rat holes are not the radiators.
It was a hard sell from NYCHA and its private partners, one that received a positive review from Waikiki from Fulton Houses.
It was beautiful. Like I said before, I loved the floor, new appliances, that's a plus, that's good.
But in the end, it didn't sway Ocello. She's still skeptical.
There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of fear. So a lot of residents are not going to trust NYCHA or anyone that has let us live with lead and asbestos and crime and vermin. And we're still living with it now.
Other tours like this have already been scheduled, and NYCHA is encouraging residents to participate to see what the program is like for themselves, Errol. And if the NYCHA residents do want to participate, we do have an email that they can use, and they can email PACT, that's PACT, at nycha.nyc.gov, and they can sign up.
Okay, and go out on their own tour to see the same development.
Exactly.
I mean, I saw, working elevators, nice looking hallways. It looked like hardwood floors. Maybe that was just kind of, stick tiles, but even so, it looks gorgeous. The people, as far as you can tell, who actually live there, they weren't paid actors or anything like that. They actually seemed to like it.
I mean, this is like, I don't want to call it a publicity stunt, so to say, or so to speak, but clearly, I can't say that the development company didn't go before and clean up the place a lot, but I've been to a lot of NYCHA developments in my day reporting here at New York One, and above and beyond, it was in much, much, much better condition. And when we saw some of the residents of this development pass by,